allow the two children to have the budget every year.
It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay. Off your mind.
Like me.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, my ego don't come. Ingo torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego diary politico, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. This one not the off in mind, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. Can in the touch like every corner, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you loud, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego diary politico, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. This one not they off in mind, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that my yegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say my yegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we not talk. But thank God say my yegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh yo yo. My yegun don't come, oh yo yo. Ayégun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó lódodo. Ayégun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó lódodo.
Hello there. Good morning to you, good afternoon to you once again, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. And this is Mayegun Live. Thank you so much for joining me once again from wherever you are watching from. Please share this broadcast. Invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, and tell them that Mayegun Day. Remember, read the caption of the broadcast, the description of this broadcast. Hear it. That is to invite your friends and not so friendly friends. And again, pay your offering, like the broadcast, and tell your friends.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì í. Àní ẹ̀ súnra kì í. Lórí Facebook. Àní ẹ̀ súnra kì í. Lórí YouTube. Àní ẹ̀ súnra kì í. Ọba bá ṣe wúrẹ́. Àní ẹ̀ súnra kì í.
Yes, you read the caption right. Remember, I told you there was, this afternoon was an appetizer. Tonight, we will dig it further. So share this.
And yes,
The first person that muted the idea of spending or going into the pension fund was Abba Kyari. And I also heard that another person who also attempted this was Issa Funtua. They both cooked something and they called it Central Bank of Nigeria Infrastructure Fund. And they were attempting to steal the pension fund. Do you know what happened to the two of them? They died. Thiefnubu and his gang, Kadobi, as well as Wale Idons, they are plotting and planning to not plotting anymore. In fact, they have been given the green light. Go take 20 trillion for your coastal road. You have pensioners in your family. Tell them, put it low. Their pension is gone. So Motide, again. So thank you so much for joining me again from wherever you are joining or watching this from. So it is Mayegun Live, and we are kicking it off tonight from the news that just hit the airwaves this afternoon. And this is very important, okay? It is also, I mean, it's so important for you to understand how bad Nigeria is right now economically. You need to understand it. Away from your ignorant, if you are Abobaku watching me, or a typical Nigerian watching me, now away from your fantasy, where you can easily just take a look at the available facts and evidence and easily conclude that Nigeria is in a very, very bad place right now, economically. The Bokwari and APC took Nigeria 40 years backward. Yeah, I heard that right. 40 years backward. And that is why we told you that at this junction, right, the best thing for that contraption, Nigeria, for anybody who loves that place, is to begin to make a move for the breakup of the contraption. It is for your own good. Because the more this Nigeria exists, the more the lives of millions of you will continue to be put into jeopardy, including the lives of the ones that are yet unborn. Generation yet unborn will be born into poverty in this current Nigeria as it is currently structured. And the criminals who are doing that, knowing that they will never be punished, they will do it again and again and again and again and again until you stop them. Whatever Bokwari did with Nigeria, I am saying whatever Emefiole did with Nigeria, you can take it from me. Take it or leave it. It doesn't even matter. Kadobi and Thiefnubu, they will do worse. And you already have all the pointers. But you don't have to believe me. But just let this, my voice, continue to speak to you when you are by yourself, when you are trying to look for who to blame for all of this, pointing fingers, shifting the blame. My voice will remind you what the truth is. And you probably will know where you are falling to, whether you are an enabler or just an ignorant dumbo. Either way, my voice will play a significant role in your head when the reality will set in. Whether you like my voice or you don't like my voice, Whether you like the way I'm talking about this or you don't like it, it won't matter because facts are very stubborn. Fictions, you can edit your fiction, you can enjoy your fantasy, you can make up all your whatever it is you're making up in your head. Baba, facts are very stubborn. They won't go anywhere. Nigeria is in a bad place simply because APC, Egbekegbe, make it so. And the journey to making it so was enabled by some of you, even watching me right now. You know the role you play? You probably do. But here is the truth. In 2017-18, the idea of using any dormant money in Nigerian banks came to Bokwari's people like the discovery of a sliced bread. They were so shocked that so much money like that is somewhere for pensioners. We could borrow that. Yeah. I didn't know Nigerian pensioners. Just tell them that we'll pay them back later. And for them to believe that we will pay them back later, let us go and issue a bond. Typical of just, let's go and print money. But we won't print it now. We'll just tell them that we'll give them later when they need it. But we need their money now. So Abba Kyari muted the idea. They put a team together to draft what money can be spent on. And it will be called infrastructural fund. From pension fund. And pension fund is not money from government. So that is the money the banks deduct from you, from your money, from your salaries. And then they bank them for you. Yeah. So then, when it is the time for your retirement, the government is expected to contribute their own counterpart of that pension fund. And that means if the government is taking a certain percentage from your salary every month, they are also expected, in some instances, to add their own whatever it is to that your tax deduction. Or even if they don't have to add any of theirs, yours is enough. And that is what they wanted to take. So Abba Kyari and few other guys, they met with Emefiole and they turned it into a monetary policy. Instead of the money sitting there, waiting for you to retire, maybe they should borrow it for now. For some reason, people raised the alarm. Don't try that. That is the money you can't touch. This was after they have almost depleted all of the revenue earning sources for Nigeria. Hear them among themselves. Nigeria was losing money so massively. And they had no idea on what to do. So they discovered this gold mine, trillions of naira, sitting somewhere, waiting for some people to turn to 70, 75. And they still have like maybe 20 years away. They still have like 15 years, 30 years, and all of that kind of years away. Oh, we could use the money. Let the future government come and deal with it. I don't know what happened. Abba Kyari went to Germany to go and negotiate with Siemens on Nigeria Power. It was neither the Minister of Power nor advisor on power to Bokwari. He was a chief of staff, the position that Bajabia Mole currently holds. That was the position of Abba Kyari, but he was your de facto president then. He was pretty much your president, at least. So Abba Kyari went to Germany to go and negotiate Siemens deal. He came back with coronavirus and he died. He did not live to execute. that plot of looting money from pensioners, the pension fund. But his own cousin, Issa Puntua, who happened to also be, a relative of Bokwari, family member too, he took it up. From what I heard, though, so Emefiole in 2019, 2020, after the death of Abba Kyari. So by 2021, 2022, Emefiole plotted it again. But this time around, they said it was Issa Funtua, Yada old man. They said that Issa Funtua wanted Emefiole to continue with that project. And that is the agenda of putting together a sort of a policy or statement that allows the government to take the pension fund. So they pushed it again. Central Bank of Nigeria infrastructural fund. This was the pension fund they want to use, 15 trillion. And before you know it, Issa Puntua was also rushed to London. He never returned back to Nigeria alive, so I heard. And that was the end of all the attempts to want to steal the pension fund from the poorly paid Nigeria workers who are mostly going to leave their pension age in poverty, where hyperinflation has already eaten deep to whatever pension they have saved. But that is not going to deter Thiefnubu and gang from going ahead with their plots. So I don't know who brought the idea. I don't know who is behind it. But what we know right now is that Thiefnubu and his gang, they have gone to FEC 2 days. They had FEC meeting for 2 days. FEC meeting is Federal Executive Council meeting. And the Federal Executive Council comprises of the Federal Cabinet. Who are the Federal Cabinet? The appointed, loyalist, ass-licker, incompetent crook that Thiefnubu appointed. These are the Federal Cabinet. So they presented it to them. Listen, guys, no investor, no nothing. We want to construct Coastal Road. It's going to cost Nigeria 15 trillion. Everybody is asking me, where am I going to see the money from? Because Nigeria has no money. Guys, I needed to approve that we can use the pension fund. This time around, we will just take 20 trillion from it. And in another 20 years, somebody else can pay them their pension. But by then, we would have built a coastal road for you. So again, tell your grandma, tell your grandpa, your retired grandpa, your retired grandma, tell them that when it comes to their pension, because here, for those who know Thiefnubu very well, you are about to learn how they build, how he built Lagos, the mega slum of Africa, the mega city of Nigeria. You are about to find out how they built Lagos for 24 years. Lagos that used to have drinking water, government running pipe-borne water, no longer has government running pipe-borne water, drinking water anywhere in Lagos anymore. After 24 years of Thiefnubu, people used to fetch water inside their homes. We used to fetch water inside our home. We used to turn the tap on. There was no borehole. So after 24 years of the Poseidon, the man that defended Lagos from the ocean, today, that is the mega city of Africa. You want to know how he built it? You will find out very soon. You will. Because now, what they want to do is that what they said they have received approval for, they now call it Renewed Hope Infrastructural Fund, not Central Bank Infrastructural Fund. It is now Renewed Hope Agenda, Renewed Hope Infrastructural Fund. Do you want me to tell you something? When this idea of a coastal road was mooted long time ago, then the Jonathan and then others decided to look into it, but they didn't because it was too massive. Like it's like capital intensive. Okay. And by then they calculated that it was going to cost over 4 trillion to build. So it was something they didn't want to push. It's like, how can you use half of your national annual budget to want to use that to build one road? Like, who does that? So they now developed the idea of PPP. Now you see this road, though, this coastal road, though, okay? Whenever we want to do it, we are going to look for whoever is ready to take off the project. Let's assume, say, a Chinese company say, oh, we'll take the project. It's going to cost about $2-3 billion. So we will take it on and we'll build. So the arrangement was that whoever was going to build the coastal road, right, from Lagos to the border of Cameroon, past Calabar, all right? So the plan was that whoever was going to build it, so the government is going to make arrangements with them to build it with their money. Government will pay all the people that their land will be affected, their properties will be affected. Nigeria will pay those ones to ensure that the project has the right of way. Environmental something investigation or so report, that one that will actually like environmental assessment I think a report is called, right? That is when you have to do the check on all, on the path where that road is going to pass. You have to do the assessment. You have to meet the community by community. You have to go to some of, in fact, a lot of you probably believe that it's about just constructing road. I told you what it takes, right? Why Nigeria didn't do it. Why they wanted a PPP. A PPP means that somebody else will build it with their money and they will recoup back their money. So they will build it from Lagos, 747 or so kilometers. They will build it. And so once they complete the road, they will now put toll gates at every stop that they want the toll gate as approved by the same Nigeria government, just to ensure that, yes, thank you for building this. So it's going to take you 15 years to get your money back, but thank you for building this. It will cost Nigeria no dime. But Thiefnubu, because they couldn't find anybody to do it, right? Thiefnubu came when Nigeria is bankrupt already, but it doesn't care, who cares? Now you didn't say Nigeria bankrupt. So Tinubu came without any bidding, without any announcements. They just came and said, the Federal Executive Council, Thiefnubu's appointees, they have approved the project to construct coastal highway to Hightech. The person who is in charge of Hightech, Gilbert Shaguri, is Thiefnubu's confidant, fellow criminal, a wanted man in some countries, and a man that is believed can never enter America without being arrested, all for money laundering, crime, drug trafficking, contract, including bribery, where government officials in different countries have been bribed by this guy, Shaguri, in order to corner whatever robbery or whatever fraud they wanted to perpetrate in such countries. That is Thiefnubu's confidant. So they have a company and it is called Hightech. This company, right, has no competitor, no bidding, no nothing. It is also a company that Thiefnubu has 42% interest, 42% stake in. His son, Sheyi, is a board director of that Shaguri's company. Now, you see all this conflict of interest in public office. It is considered conflict of interest and it is a crime. But Nigeria is a crime scene where criminals are in charge. So it's not a crime. So what have they done? No bidding, no competitive bidding, no announcement, no consultation, no environment assessment, check or report, no nothing. Just an announcement that, okay, the Hightech says the road is going to cost 15 trillion naira to build. And they have won the contract. In fact, this is not going to be build, operate, and deliver. No. Nigeria is going to build it. But Shaguri and Hightech, they're going to be presented to you as a private, as the partners. Do you understand? So, Hightech that they said will build this road, okay, is supposed to be like Julius Berger. You know, say when Julius Berger build road, they get paid and they walk away. These ones are not walking away. They will spend no dime of their money. Thiefnubu is planning now to use the pension fund to hand that over to his pal, Shaguri. Now, whichever part of the road is constructed, a toll gate or two tolls or whatever will be put on them, on that road. And guess what? The document is going to show that Shaguri, Hightech, they use 50% of their money to build the road. You will be alive to witness that. If Tinubu want to steal 20 trillion naira pension fund, and he's going to hand 75 to 80% of that to his pal. Hey. For you to even plan is like you want to go and rob a bank or you want to go and do that. But that won't take a lot of job. But this one is like an easy job. Easy. Let them continue to some now. Me, telling you all of this, I am crying. Let them continue to cry. Tinubu will build the road. I'm trying to kind of see if I can find the right word to explain what this means in the long run. If he ever succeed in taking a penny from the pension fund, I don't have any word to describe what it's going to be like without sending some old people into a panic right now. But it is very, very concerning. And this is another one. Like many other things that has, been affecting, or, many of their policies that has been affecting and touching every one of you, this one is like going for the jugular. It is. And for those who know Thiefnubu very well, I remember he once told the pensioners in Lagos when they said they were going to picket his office, but they did picket his office. When he finally showed up and to speak to them, he told them that he didn't understand why they are so angry that they have not been paid pensions. And they can tell that the whole state is struggling. They are yet to even pay those who are alive. And those who are already, those who are near their graves are protesting that they were not paid. Thiefnubu told pensioners that was how cruel. Even though he was younger than this then, well, all of you are about to find out how they built Lagos. Okay? But it's just that by the time they are done, there will be no pension fund anymore. There will be no foreign reserve. There will be no salary to pay you. Because around that time, you see the inflation that you have, again, may not sound like, say, person they kind of exaggerate. The type of inflation you have, right? will be nothing compared to it in any part of the world. Nigeria is unreal, okay? And this afternoon, when one of my callers was talking about the education of the Southwesterners, felt good. And I'm glad that that person kind of probably be second to the last generation of those who saw how everything declined. And then since then, it has been a spiral downward. They adulterated our education. They destroyed it totally. Now we are producing unemployed and unemployable people. There's difference between now, okay, you no get job or you're unemployed. Baba. At least person we no get job is unemployed. There is hope if you have skill, if you have what it takes, there's a chance that you're going to get job eventually. That means you are employable. Right now in Yoruba land, where you are supposed to see educated people, educated people, it has already been shattered. Go and listen to them. Go and listen to some of them. Will tell you they are graduate this, graduate that. Are you not even seeing them in the public office too? Politicians, are you not seeing them? Once by education, they've destroyed it. And that is why somebody will be like, it is just, they say, inflation in Nigeria is now 34% too. 34% is not bad. Government just need to work hard. Government just need to work hard and make sure they do something. Food inflation in Nigeria is now over 40%. Oh. 40%. Well, anyway, government just need to, we need to, they will begin to speak grammar. Baba, do you know a poll conducted in America this past week? 61% of Americans that were polled, they all said Joe Biden is the worst president in America history. I mean, American history in the last 72 years is the worst. Only 39% felt like, no, he's not. He's doing well. Guess what? In America, inflation in America right now is 3%. Unemployment in America right now is less than 4%. And Americans believe Joe Biden is the worst when it comes to job, when it comes to the economy, when it comes to immigration, all those. So they just 61%. And you will see Nigerians among those, all these Nigerian Americans, all those ones will be patriotic Nigerians abroad. They too, they are there. Yeah, I've been in America for the past 25 years. Joe Biden is a worse. Somebody will come from Nigeria. Meanwhile, in Nigeria, America, there are single digits of unemployment, single digits of inflation. They call their president the worst. Okay? Nigeria, who have 34% inflation, 40% food inflation, 50% unemployment rate. Their president is telling them that he is renewing their hope. Nigeria, that has no single border. Somebody was talking about border earlier today as well. Nigeria, that has no single border. You can walk in, walk out anytime. Yes, you can. Nigeria, that has no clear pathway to citizenship. Like the African Wahala said today, you could walk straight into any local government area, pay the right money, know few information about the area you want to be a citizen of. And they will give you a indigenous certificate that you can use in getting passports. So all these forest places and all that is somewhere that somebody in America, somebody in Canada, some of you in the UK, you are telling people to give them time. It takes time to do this or that. And yet, wherever you are, that you are kind of hold up right now, you are among those who probably feels like things are supposed to be better than what they are right now there. even though you seem to have everything, right? That's called witchcraft. That's what people called it, witchcraft. So when Wale Edun was held, in order to further deceive the gullibles, the sophisticated morons, the voluntary slaves, they then came out and said, Thiefnubu, consumer credit. Consumer credit. What is consumer credit? Oh, yeah, you can just go and borrow money to buy a car. You don't have to pay for everything. You can just go and borrow money and buy a house. Your credit will do blah, 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 blah for you. Yeah, Thiefnubu's government is planning credit. Man, this is going to be great. So does that mean that I can now just get a contract phone? Does that mean that I can now just get every one of them, they are making themselves feel good on Twitter then, right? All these sabobakus. But the basic thing is that there is absolutely nothing on ground to say, you that cannot afford food, a lot of you can no longer afford basic needs. You see, some critical manufacturers manufacturers in your manufacturing sector, they are folding up and they are packing away and leaving the country because you cannot even afford to buy your anything anymore. Now that you can consumer credits. They are waiting for consumer credit so that we can be like America. We don't have to use all our money to buy things. We just take credit. Thiefnubu is bringing consumer. Consumer credit when you lose. You know, consumer credit is for the paupers, for the jobless, for the economy where, oh my God. I said it that time, but they thought I was bad belly. Because they were telling them things that makes them feel like, oh yeah, that's good. I can't wait. Papa, you don't even get job. You don't even get job. They are not creating jobs. But they said that we are doing consumer credit. Another one. Oh, mortgage. Thiefnubu is bringing mortgage system. Papa, you don't even get money for rent. You just cut. But yeah, with your Chinko phone, you are well done. Great idea. A house, they know they build. You don't see any house. You can say, okay, there's a housing system in Nigeria called that you can say, okay, you are going to become homeowners. Yeah, mortgage. I'll show you one of them here. He said this one yesterday.
Low interest rates. I mean, where we are now, interest rates are elevated. Clearly, they are not the kind of rates that someone who is trying to pay a mortgage and trying to pay for the purchase of a house can afford, both in terms of the tenor of the money and the rate. We're talking about, give or take, 12%. I would say give or take 12% should be the target that we aim at, something that's affordable. And it will take the creativity of the whole, all the stakeholders, government, the private sector, Federal Housing Authority, Nigerian Sovereign Investment Authority, Federal Mortgage Bank, as I said before, Ministry of Finance Incorporated, the pension funds, the investment funds, the insurance funds of life, the long-term pools of money for life insurance investments. The whole ecosystem will need to come together to really get the housing sector going through affordability of housing. All the other ingredients are there in this country. So it's a veritable area for value-added employment and growth of the economy. Ruth, it's when you say what type of funding will it be, clearly it is in the main part debt funding. And what it is, there will be intermediation. And when I say intermediation, I mean there will be a passing. So the long-term funds that is in the hands of the institutional investors will be made available through vehicles, probably through the Ministry of Finance Incorporated, or for mortgages, and through the National Sovereign Investment Authority for housing construction. You know, their expertise is in these areas, and so it is debt financing, and there will be multiple vehicles that are used. As for CNG buses, the infrastructure is being rolled out. At the moment, there is already an initiative, and I did have the privilege and the opportunity just last Friday to be at a assembly plant for production, assembling from semi-knockdown parts, assembly of mass transit CNG buses, and it's actually bi-fuel. It can run, these can run on petrol, and they can run on CNG. The issue is that CNG is almost between 25 and maybe 30% cheaper, and that's a veritable saving for all those that, and so that will be reflected, of course, in transport costs, and of course, the affordability for people who even drive themselves. And as for Kunle Business Day, the procurement is on. 600 buses are on their way, and as I said, they are not all to be purchased fully built. There's also a large portion that all the assemblers that are available in Nigeria have been given business, they've been given orders. Also, there are about 30,000 conversion kits coming in. There is no policy of, in fact, it's the opposite. The policy, as was announced by the Honourable Minister for Information, is that not only is the intervention to bring down fares and cost of transportation, and therefore cost of living for Nigerians as a whole, through the government's presidential compressed natural gas initiative, but now it is a government procurement policy, and I don't think we have to look far or examine in detail before we can see the opportunity that this now gives in Nigeria across the whole value chain. Thank you.
Well, there was a question about charging points. The man from Radio Nigeria.
Radio Nigeria. Yes, sorry, I abbreviated, trying to save your time as much as anybody. I abbreviated by talking about infrastructure. Of course, the infrastructure includes charging points. And I must say this also, at the same time, the attempt is being made to move to electric vehicles. So the infrastructure for electric vehicles, charging points, it's a business. If you set up charging points, people will come and patronize you. Similarly, there is a rollout, and I'm sure it will be announced this month, there is a rollout of infrastructure, of places where that are being tooled at the moment so that they can refuel CNG. And of course, as I said earlier, there's the opportunity. There are 30,000 conversion kits coming in. That's through the government initiative. And any private sector person that is enterprising can also bring their own. You can convert Keke Marwa, you can convert buses, you can convert cars to CNG. You just put the fuel, they put the tank in the boot, and you are virtually ready to go once they've wired it up. So it is a huge opportunity, and it's a decisive move, even for climate change. And there are benefits to be had there, enormous economic benefits to be had. All around the world, the biggest funding available is for anything to do with climate change, climate adaptation, protecting the environment, transiting from fossil fuels, transiting away from diesel and petrol. And we are definitely on that track, and we will make use of every opportunity, and we will seek out all the options there are for capturing carbon credits and putting them into the market and be low interest rate.
Nuisance lele.
Those were supposed to be our educated Southwesterner. Abi? I am a Yoruba man. And I can tell you this free of charge. Where the real Yorubas, standard Yorubas, are put on display. People like Wale Edun Kadoso, they would never have any access to such a gathering. Nibo, Sibo. Thiefnubu brought them, used them for his own political advancement. They were those who helped him to solidify the crime they committed in Lagos. These guys were chancers. These ones are chancers. Sit them down and ask them questions. And you know something that, let me tell you something about Nigerians. In case if you haven't really discovered that. There are Nigerians, okay, who have sort of hacked the idea of amassing what you can call international educational certificates. Because in Nigeria, if you tell them that you went to, I went to Dogbolu Grammar School, Dogbolu Muslim Primary School, Dogbolu. I went to Dogbolu Grammar School. So I went to Olabisi Onabanjo University, OAU, for my first degree. Then I went for my master's at Obafemi Awolowo University. Oh, I did my PhD somewhere in Nigerian University, Nsukka. It's still like, you know, you are just Nigerian trained. But just tell them that you went to Arigidi Primary School, Arigidi Akoko, Ondo. And then you went to Arigidi Secondary School, Arigidi Akoko, Ondo. And then you went to Harvard Economic School. Doesn't matter if you just went to that Harvard for 2 weeks. Just say you went to Harvard Economic School. And every publication, every printout, every mention of your name, you have to remind them you went to Harvard Economic School. I went to Harvard Economic School for this. Because you see, in Nigeria, when we were younger, you know those who were doing banking jobs in Nigeria, Polytechnic students, ND, HND, they were those who are readily available to be bankers. When you have a degree, no, you don't want to work in a bank. But over the years, the bankers became the big deal when democracy came and they had to get involved in money laundering money for criminal politicians. They make so much money. And a lot of them became somebody too, including majority that can never really stand any test of time. Criminals. Wale Edun is one of them. Kadobi is one of them. They are Yorubas, but they are the worst of the Yorubas. Take a look at their antecedents. You know what they would do? They went to Harvard. They went to Cambridge. Meanwhile, they just went there to do 2 weeks or 3 weeks weekend course or summer courses. So, but they print it boldly on every paper. Anytime you say that, do you know who you're talking to? I am a former commissioner for finance, Lagos State. Oh, really? I am also the founder, because they were also able to kind of set up their own SPV companies, which then make them consultants about GPT. You know that, right? Like you are in government, and the job of those in government is to do the job of fixing the country or the state. Then you switch over and just say, you know what, we need a consultant. They are appointed the government, and they started opening their CV so those consultants can come and do what they were paid to do or appointed to do. Over time, they've kind of, some of them have written books. You know, say that, you know, they take before they write books. And their book, they will say they were doing book launch. Just so they make themselves look like intellectuals, intelligent people. But when you really, really look into them, if not for Nigeria, these are a bunch of misfits, low lives that can never be allowed to manage ordinary face me, I face you, renters association in your compound. They cannot be allowed. But they put on suit. The druggie who run Lagos has given them appointment. They've traveled all over the world. They've gone there to go and get all those bogus, fake certificate, degrees, this and that all over the world, so that they can appear to be somebody who is so educated. But listen to them. They will say a lot without saying anything. There is no investment in power generation or distribution in Nigeria. When these criminals came in 2015, Nigeria was generating over 8,000 megawatts of electricity, distributing back then over 4,000 megawatt electricity. Then the rest is waste. Then these criminals came in just last week. They were bragging that Nigeria is now generating 5,000 megawatts of electricity. Is that a progress or retrogression? Is there a progression or retrogression? From 8,000 something to 5,000. How much of it are you distributing? We are now distributing 3,200. Very proud of ourselves. See? Backward never, they say. You are going backward at the top speed. It's like reversing backward at the speed of a 170 kilometer per hour. You do reverse 170 kilometer per hour, para crash. Those are the guys speaking grammar. They will say a lot, they will never say anything. You don't get power, you don't get anything, but you want to bring electric bus. And then somebody asks, are you building infrastructure for charging all those? Oh, no, this is a private business. One hand, he said, they were rolling out charging ports. Then on the other hand, he said, no, it's a private business. So we believe that if you can build a charging port, people will come to you and charge their car. Imagine me carrying my Akana. Hello, Shani charger. Because charger Lenny. So sorry, because no. Okay, thank you. Pim. Hello, Uche. You get charger. I want to charge my Akana. Una. There's no license last week, and we cannot afford the per liter, petroleum per liter. Maybe you should check back tomorrow. But I'm not sure say this battery will last me till tomorrow. Or maybe you should leave your car here. When they bring light, I'll help you charge it. I'll call you to come and get your car. Because I mean, it'll fuck you. Oh, do you have keke? Keke Marwa? Don't worry about petrol. Okay, let's take it to a place where they change them to gas for you. All you have to do is just to put the gas in your car, like that. That's it. In 2024, to the long 2024. I don't even know how to we don't even know where to start from. 2024, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, what is his name? Kuka was with Thiefnubu earlier today. And according to him, 1 year is too small, it's too fast, or it's too early to expect too much from Thiefnubu. He's a PDP member, by the way.
Thank you very much.
Sir, you've just met with the president.
Who said so?
Okay, you are at the presidential villa. I take that back. You are at the presidential villa. What are you here for?
Well, I came to see the president. This is the director of the Kuka Center, Father Atta. So we came to discuss with the president an invitation we had earlier extended, which we renew, to have a conference in which we would like him to be in attendance, addressing the theme of national cohesion. So that's really what we came to discuss.
President Bola Tinubu is clocking 1 year in office in a couple of weeks. Would you be kind enough to tell us what you feel? We know you're someone who has been vocal about Nigeria's past presidents. Can you assess President Bola Tinubu for us?
Well, I'm sure many people will tell you that 1 year is not enough to make a judgment. However, from where we all stand, we know that we are all in a very difficult situation. Nigerians are in various levels of pain, and there are pains that are unintended. But that there is also certain policy decisions that hopefully with time can be amended in order to serve the welfare of ordinary people. I believe that the essence of government is to guarantee the welfare and security of ordinary citizens. I believe that the times that we're in now are very, very difficult times, and nobody should be under any illusion. But there are also times for renewal. You know, we just need to commit ourselves to the fact that building a good society takes a lot of time. It's not something that is done in one lifetime. And for me, the most important thing is for us to continue on the building blocks of the things that we think are being done well. My argument has always been that the government needs to very quickly improve the quality of communication so that Nigerians can at least get a sense of how long is it going to be before food is ready.
I mean, you are concerned about national cohesion. Many Nigerians are afraid that the crisis in the West can blow up to such as.
I didn't come to speak about Rivers State.
No,
I'm
just as a man of God.
Well, I don't live in Rivers State. If you meet the, I mean, look, this is politics, and very often we ordinary people cry more than the bereaved. The important thing is that politicians will fix their problems. Rivers State is a place that is very dear to me because I've been associated with them for a very long period of time. But look, I mean, when politicians fight, don't get carried away because they have their capacity to fix their quarrels. And I hope and pray that Rivers State will sooner than later reposition itself because it is not an insignificant part of Nigeria.
I didn't kind of play for you to expect anything less, though, okay? So he is a member of the establishment and speaks from both sides of his mouth. That depends on those of you who probably expect him to speak the truth. He can't. But that's just by the way. I saw a news where the APC women, they call them the women leader, APC women leader from across Nigeria, came out to kind of voice out, or should I say cried out, that Thiefnubu abandoned them. This is not what they were promised. And the things have gone so bad in Nigeria that it is like Thiefnubu just ignored them. Okay, like they expected that even if things are going to be hard for everybody, they are women leader of APC. They've waited and they've seen nothing. And now it's time for them to call out Thiefnubu that Abba, is it going to be when we die? That is when you are going to now possibly remember us, what you promised us. We are dying. That's what they said. We are dying and we are hungry. So I saw that earlier today, and some people were like, no, they answered them, just ignore them. These are the people that will do it again and again once you give them once you give them some money, they will mobilize other women that they will give rappers to, or money. Oh, sorry, rappers and money. And then we do it again and again and again. And if there's anything that's sweetening the, the heart or the mind of a lot of people, It is the fact that the shege that is coming from the stable of Thiefnubu is very democratic. Very democratic in the sense that nobody is spared. Ask Thiefnubu's supporters, and their own worse. If you can come to public and say something. Their own is worse. They can't even cry in public. A lot of them in real life, people have been dissociating themselves from them. Do you understand? Like some people don't relate with them anymore. And they themselves know this. So you can sit comfortably, grab your phone, make a video, and latch at Thiefnubu and the rest of their gang. They can't. If they try to do that, instead of the rest of you to go there and be like, thank you, Jerry, my brother. God bless you, my brother. Now we will not go to give up. So you are making a video now that you regret. Ogun go kill you. So this time last year when we did talk, nobody they tell us so because of that, a typical abobakus is a wounded, hungry dog. And that is why the only time they can sort of release that tension, that frustration, is when they pretend that they are defending Thiefnubu by attacking you on social media. Okay? The problem is that they can't publicly express the shege that they are suffering. Because if they dare try to come and say, Thiefnubu, you are, now people go cost them. So a lot of them are living miserably. A miserable life. So enjoy your own that you can express yourself. You can shake with for Thiefnubu anytime you wish. You can come out and shake with for all the Thiefnubu supporter for all you care. And not burn any Thiefnubu person out. To even just ordinarily come out and say, Baba Thiefnubu, now do something. Now they go take finish them. And I like that. Wherever you see them. And I also want to remind you, by the way, because I think I should be reminding you, okay? There are those who live abroad and they are living in safe places. Some of them have their families there, but they are the front runner, champions of those who will tell you to stick around and defend the bigotry, the tribal bigotry, the ethnic bigotry, the religious intolerance. These are those who are living abroad. The abroadian presidiot. Majority of them are frustrated men and women. The people that ordinarily, their life, you will never pray for their life. Now, these miserable people living abroad, watching you die in your misery there. They want you to end up miserably too. And that is why you will see some of them seated there in London, seated there in the UK, in America, all these places. And they will be defending the Thiefnubu's murderous government. Remember? See, there's no point in trying to tell them to come back home. Let me tell you how this works now. If you see anybody that is on social media telling you that Nigeria is going to be better, don't listen to anything. Let us just pray. Nigeria is our only country. There's no other country. I live abroad. And because I'm living abroad, I know. See, me, I can't wait to come back to Nigeria. So all of you in Nigeria, don't let anybody deceive you. You need to pray for APC. You need to this or that. See, don't go there and start telling them to come back. Until come back home, don't say that. I'm saying this because I have met one or two of them, and they told me this, right? What gets to them most is the moment you see them on social media, start cursing them. I'm talking about non-stop. That affects a lot of their mental health. It scares them enough because they do not want anything that is going to bring them back to Nigeria. Tell them that everything they own, everything they have will be destroyed in their life. Everything. They will end up in that contraption. Not only that they will end up in Nigeria with nothing, they will end up in Nigeria with sickness that Nigeria can't fix. Go under their post on social media, drop it repeatedly. Okay? So if they love Nigeria, it shouldn't be a cause that they will be returned back to that contraption. It shouldn't be a cause. Okay? Even though your causes and all of that may not really do anything. But because psychologically, if they curse you or then pray for you, somebody pray for you, you refuse to say amen. If they curse you, won't you react? Whether it's going to come to pass or not. You go there in large numbers. Ignore people because there will be some slaves there too. Thank you, Jerry, my sister. God bless you, my sister. Don't mind them, my sister. God will bless you, Jerry, my brother. I told them that they want Nigeria to be like America, but they don't want to support government to make it America. God bless you, Jerry, my sister. Even see, this is our Nigerian, a true Nigerian. Somebody who is living abroad, very, very passionate about Nigeria. He's telling all of us here to believe in Nigeria because there's no country like Nigeria, but the way is in America. So somebody will say, look at this one, is telling us that. Thank you, Jerry, my sister. Don't reply those ones. Say, your life don't spoil. Those ones' lives don't spoil. Should you don't sorrow go. If you want finish them, for example now, if to say I am one of those who are pushing those propaganda and lies that Nigeria is going to be better when I know it will never be better, okay? My real names are Shola B. You know, you call me Mayegun all the time, all of you. Mayegun. Though my schoolmates, my own classmates they usually call me Baroxy. Yeah, Baroxytocin. You know that oxytocin? Okay, Baroxy. So they call me Baroxy because I'm Badero, right? So Baroxy. So I changed that to kind of picked it from the oxytocin, Baroxy. So if you say Mayegun will punish you. Mayegun, God punish you. I'll just look at you and be like, God punish your papa. Because I don't do you anything. You this Mayegun, God punish you. I say, God punish your mama. But if you go down and you just be like, Sheyi, Shola, or Mobadero. Sorry, no peace for the door. Or no peace for the door of the house of a deceased, okay? Yeni agoro dile omoloko nisimi o baba makale meji ni pe aiwa. Alaye ewo nwere. Orúkọ mi l'office. Now my name you put there, so abogun fe paya eni. Why you go put my name? Say ba you go kill your baba ogun paya ti e not down. Say ogun paya. Ogun dey do ogun pa everybody. You know what I mean? Because you don't put my name. Go look at their names, those who are telling you that Thiefnubu is going to make Nigeria great when they are so safe wherever they are right now. You want them to have mental health problem. Because they don't mean well. Everywhere. And you want to budget already. But you see, Baba, now cover up. Now before we came here, we didn't say, abroad. Now we don't do here now. At Darabi for long. At we they see all the wearies here too. Majority of these wearies there, since every home has internet in this country. Okay. So because of that, even the lunatics, the wearies, they are there and misleading you, the slaves. Who believes that everybody wait there abroad normal. Normal. Some of you just can't think. It was you don't escape law. You know, when you are in a place where they are maintaining your weary, and you are in a place where they are actually tormenting your weary, the two different reactions, them money. Here, if you have mental health problem, right? Everybody goes kind of feel sorry for you. Oh, I'm so sorry. In Nigeria, they have any mental health problem. Ologun must struggle. You know that. Dog eats dog. Until the day you come out cloth, waka naked. You are not mad yet. You know that kind of thing. So he enter you. They will say, watch out. You don't enter market, no fit take care. For UK, for all these places, you can still see a senior bank manager will get touch. Eh? You tell you say she's a very fine very fine girl. You know, she's a working class. She's a manager. If you see her, but now she just gets small touch. What do you mean that she gets small touch? No, you know, once in a while, like, you mean that she's Igboro, like somebody maybe say, street girl. No, street about then. If she miss her tablet, just pray, say, you know, the house without RIP Neo. So be careful. We have them here. Now you go try to kind of picture your Nigeria, you know, ruggedness and say, "Where Nigeria come from?" Imagine they can't tell me, say, one mad girl choked me to death and beat me to death in the UK. And something about the gate of heaven. So that kind of thing will kind of make you feel like almost so weary feel day. We say they love weary. Nigeria is a place whereby they say, "Oh, more okay, no, except if you they do money ritual, you won't do Yahoo." But most of those wearies are some of those people you are listening to in Nigeria. There are many. So that they are like fighting themselves naked online and all of that stuff. Then come back to tell you that APC mean well. And since we're rating you get there's no amount of calmness that your madness will have in Nigeria, that you will still see this you know, this once in a while you know, shake up like that. So the bottom line I'm making here is this. You see those who live abroad and tells you that Nigeria will do this, Nigeria will work, and you believe them. I think I've shared that story of Sabinus, where somebody was asking Sabinus to buy food and all of that, right? So we do have a lot of those So what you have to do is to make sure that once you see them online, go and look for their real name. Don't call them their media name. Like you make it like, even if you know Sabi course, go online and say, please, I need somebody to help me compose the kind of EP that is descriptive. The kind of EP that's when somebody read it, it could be like, say, then carry Olugbomu, the kind of swear for them. Can somebody help me compose that in a kind of a Yoruba or in a kind of Igbo way, or any of your language that person will understand? Because they are misleading you. The reason why a lot of them will be so upset and angry is because they may tell you they love Nigeria. I swear, none of us want to live in that contraption. None of them want to live in that contraption. None of them. They would rather come around and then so that the rest of you that they have economically destroyed, you can help them as errand boys, errand girls, drivers, car wash, and all of that stuff for them. That will make them feel important that they are coming to Nigeria. So those who can keep you in that perpetuity of poverty are the people they are telling you to support. They know they can't live there. So you need to go and tell them that this is how you are living in your America. Except this is how you are living in your UK. You will come back here empty-handed, with nothing, with sickness, so that Nigerian system can cure you and see how it feels. You will see some of them that will send you a private message. Why are you cursing me? Is it because I'm not? No, it's not because of anything. I'm just praying for you. You know why, Nipe? A lot of you have lost almost everything in the last 8-9 years. You don't know. And a lot of you, many of you have lost so much in the last few years, and you are still going to lose more. Somebody is living abroad telling you that don't let anybody make you stop supporting APC. Renewed shege. And you don't think that person is your visible sin enemy. So go for them. Don't spare them. And I mean it. And tell me, come back here and tell me how it feels. So going forward, right? He did mention somewhere about rivers. I'll use that as a little break, okay, before we continue. Don't go anywhere yet. Coming back to Fubara Wiki anyway. Did you hear that Thiefnubu and his gang, they have approved, not approved, they've given 90 billion naira to those who are going to Saudi Arabia to go and pray for Nigeria. And Shitty Man was on one of the flights today, and he was so happy, so proud, right? That they could provide 90 billion for those who wants to go to Mecca as a subsidy. Normally, they said it was going to be 5 million naira to go to this Saudi this year. Then Thiefnubu happened. So the naira crashed. So crashed that they now told everybody who had paid for 5 million naira that they will need to add another 5 million if they want to go to Mecca this year, because the exchange rate has kind of skyrocketed everything and all that. So a lot of them now said, no, we're not paying anything. Give us our money back. We'll go another year. Then they went on to tell Thiefnubu, Northerners don't like not to go to Mecca. This is the, this is not going to go down well. This is going to be the first time under your government that people are not going to go to Mecca. Muslim tickets. Anyway, they managed to figure something out. 90 billion naira, 90 billion was quickly moved to subsidize those who were going to Mecca from northern Nigeria. This is not like subsidy for all of them, or in case you think 90 billion naira is for everybody where they go Mecca. It's not for everybody where they go Mecca. It is quota system based. So the northerners who can't afford, they are considered as the poorest. So those who are from the southern Nigeria going to Mecca, some of you are better off. Abi, can you tell me any of your grandma or grandpa or any of your family member in any part of a Yoruba land that tells you that they received a letter from Thiefnubu that they will be getting extra 4 million naira to their Hajj travel this year? Raise up your hand. At least that's not something that should be a secret, because majority of those you are seeing in this video from northern Nigeria, all of them collected that subsidy. All of them. Pata pata. Do you understand? Some of them, see, let me even tell you something. Do you know how much money that Nigeria is subsidizing this year's Hajj with? I'll tell you. You see those Sharia North, Kano, Katsina, Kirby, Yobe. I think, is that Yobe? No, not Yobe. Yeah, Zamfara. A few of them like that. Many of them like that. They are spending over 420 billion naira. Yeah, you heard me right. 420 billion naira in subsidizing the Hajj 2024 for the poorest northerners who can't go to Hajj. Baba, imagine you being so poor, like you're so poor that you cannot afford to buy yourself a return ticket of a 4 million naira. And maybe 1 million or 2 million for your feeding and everything. You can't afford that. That's a lot of money, 6 million naira. Baba, you cannot even afford the 6,000 naira. But there is a government that is willing to give you 10 million naira to go to Mecca to go and pray. In a space where they have no money for education, no money for infrastructure, there is no money for anything else. But those billions could roll out. That's how much these guys were spending. There are some places in Yoruba land, some states in Yoruba land who also spent close to 1 billion naira funding the Hajj. But I would love to see you raise your hand and tell me if any member of your family can say, oh yeah, we received a letter that the government was going to pay for my grandma's Hajj trip. I would love to see that, but I've seen others who have shown their own receipt in northern Nigeria to show that, oh, except for one of the disgruntled guys in Kano. I don't know if you heard about the bomb blast in Kano, but they didn't present it as a bomb blast. Or maybe it is not a bomb blast, okay? Well, look at these devices. These were recovered from the mosque that somebody set ablaze according to them. Someone went to a Kano mosque when the worshippers were inside praying, and they shut the windows, shut the door, and set it ablaze. So a lot of people kind of sustained injuries, but nobody is reported dead. No one died. And this was in Kano, while others were trying to go to Mecca to go pray to Allah for peace and all that. But the violence was brought into a supposed house of God that was in Kano today. So I saw that and I was like, okay, yeah, I'm going to share that with you. But again, let's go back to maybe Lagos, the rivers. Do you remember when I was talking about not seeing the government building houses? Like you can say, okay, council houses or council flats, just to see that if you lose your houses or if your house is demolished and all that, you could possibly just go to a temporary shelter built by the government, small mini flats and all that, for the homeless, for the people, for the low-income earners and all that. Now, I saw a video where GRV, the guy that was denied the chance of showing himself in Lagos, what he's made of, was having a chat around this with his team. And he uploaded a video, and I think I should share that with you. Just listen.
They are contravening things, so that's just where it starts and ends. That's the way constitution starts and ends. And then whether demolition happens and then appropriation of land is taken, so to developers, I'm sure most people here know the story. I feel that there must be a fundamental change in the way government thinks about housing. There's some wonderful ideas I've heard here. The first one was about changing this narrative about having to own a home, right? People can pass through a home. People can transition to a home. And I think that was a very good theoretical notion where, like the lady said, as a single man, you're earning something in your 25, 26. As you get older, your capacity to earn increases. You have a family, so you need bigger space and bigger space. And that can be worked out. But then also, there's a concept that we've talked about several times about luxury tax, right? Where there are lots of high-end houses being built. When I was practicing in England, for you to get planning permission for any building you're doing, there must be an affordable component within that building, which goes back to a point that was made about how people from different social classes can live together. Now, historically, my father would tell me that he went to St. Greg's, his father was a judge, but he was in the same class with his father's driver's son, right? So I know that with the level of poverty that has increased over time, the classes are becoming more and more separated. But there was once a time where it was not as, stark, right? So I do think that exploring an idea where any developer that's building in a certain part of Lagos, a certain value of land, because land, a plot in Ocean Parade can cost as much as 1 billion, right? Compared to plots in Badagry that might cost 5 to 10 million, right? So there's that value of land. Now, if you're developing there, is it possible with policy to say that developments here, for every unit that's developed here, a certain portion of housing stock must also be built in a place where government has assigned for affordable housing, right? So that fund is directly building housing. It doesn't even have to be contributed to a fund. It can be land where continuous development is happening, and you as a developer there is also building stock here. And I think the interesting layer to add to that is what was said here, where it should not be owned by individuals. And I love the idea that once you start making that a need in terms of being owned by individuals, that's where speculation happens. So that needs to be taken out of that entire equation. And you have a situation where there's housing stock and people transition through it. And the same thing with the councils in England, right? Once you're unemployed, you apply to more intentionality, right? We must not develop and become this Lagos megacity by being like Dubai, when our realities and capacity of our people are not up to that, right? So I think more tailored design for the majority of people that are in Lagos. And the idea about inclusivity or accessibility, I think that there is accessibility in terms of physical ability. There's also financial accessibility. So I like the word accessible housing. I don't think we should just abandon it because some people have owned it. We can redefine or dig deeper in our definition of it by talking about financial accessibility, right? Financial accessibility is one of the major things that's holding people back. And like you said, the more we develop, the more the stark contrast between the rich and the poor, it becomes very problematic to be oriented.
My mate. He's my mate. And he's so articulate that his own supposed mates, who are supposed to be in their late 30s and early 40s, like that young man, there were those who are now like somebody is so expressive, okay, and is pretty much like so intelligent too, but they will say everything he is saying, as articulate as he's articulating everything there, right? A typical on-boot slave, a crumb eater, crumb chaser, ass licker, all right, sir, from Lagos will tell you. What nonsense is he saying? Thiefnubu has a master plan. It's a master plan for Lagos. So that master plan is what everybody is following. Have you heard them say that to you many times? I mean, before? Have you seen Abobaku tell you there's a master plan for Lagos? Their master plan. Thiefnubu draw master plan. And Pashala follow the master plan. Can you come follow? And when you ask them, where is the master plan? This is how they talk. This is how they behave. When you ask them to come and describe their master plan, then you realize that these are just empty barrels. Okay? I'm talking about the organs that they are kind of copying, empty barrels who kind of are living what Thiefnubu is doing right now, trial and error. Let's try this one, let's try that one and see what will happen, then hype it. And it's the best they've got. Fashola is their best they've got. Oh, it's the best governor in Lagos. Lagos was very clean. But they have no water. They have no road. They have no electricity. No water. They have no schools. They have no hospitals. Yes, they have them, but when I say, you know what I mean now. But it's the best. This one is supposed to be the president of Nigeria. That's how they roll in Nigeria. Where mediocrity is such a, such a privilege. Then when you look around and say, okay, what did you say they are building? Where? Can't you see? Do you know what this place is like before? Black bureaus are still collecting money, making billions from the system that are supposed to have governments, but they built Lagos. When you see people who actually discuss on how things are done, they don't believe that. Number one, he's too young. What does he know? Let him go and join the queue. Let him come and join all of us so that we can lick the asses of all these incompetent criminals. And maybe one day, Asiwaju can find him something. Maybe Asiwaju can just go and make him PA to somebody. That is their ambition. So they will never like a young man that wants to, that wants to kind of implement his ideas. They will use tribe, they will use ethnic, they will use religion to deny all that and stick with their status quo. Because according to them, no idea, no amount of the idea this guy may say he has, it can never be like the idea of the man that turned us to Agbero. This one is just, he's not lying, Joe. He cannot do anything. He's lying. He just wants to come and take Asiwaju's place. He just wants to come and take job from us, free money from us, so that we won't be able to enjoy that anymore. So we don't care about what he's saying. Oh, affordable housing. No. Asiwaju will build affordable housing for us. Asiwaju has promised us that he will build affordable housing. Oh, your children deserve to have access to very standard and better health care. Leave us. Asiwaju has promised us that Sanwo-Olu should go and make sure that our children, they have access to health care. And they said they will do it. Go away, we don't want you. We don't want you and leave our children alone. Our children are APC, and Asiwaju has promised us. Asiwaju has promised us that they will do this road, even though they promised us for the past 20 years. But we believe he will do it. I know that Asiwaju will do it. There are people like that, programmed that way. Unfortunately. Right? So as for River State, right? Here was what Fubara said when he ordered the probe of Werewike, called Werewike Gary eating rats. Then he asked this one for the person who told him that if not for Werewike, Fubara would be a level 14, ordinary level 14 civil servant. He called him a drug addict. I played that this afternoon. Let me replay it.
What? God is with us. Yes. Don't allow anybody to deceive you. I had one drug addict telling people that I would have been in level 14 or level 15. You know, when you don't know people, you talk carelessly. And when you're already high, what do you expect? If in 2010, I was a chief accountant level 13, those of you who know the civil service, where will I be before 2023? So when you see people, because you want to impress your paymaster, you talk carelessly. I won't reduce myself to that kind of talk. I am the only governor in this state that, in the whole federation, where drug addicts as local government chairman will come and abuse, I take it. Oh. I'm the only person that, people that can't even talk to me, they call them honorable members. I don't know what makes them honorable. For you to be honorable, there are a lot of qualities that people will see. Being honorable is not lying. Being honorable is not, there is not as a matter of fact, for one to be called honorable, you need to live a honorable life. But I wish them well. I wish them well because even if it's a mistake, by the special grace of God, I'm here today. So God doesn't make mistake. And let me also appeal to them. Let them continue to make mistake. So that I'll continue to be where I am. Finish what I want to do for you people. Live with a good name. Yes. And my children and my great-grandchildren will be proud of me. Amen. That is the mistake I want them to be making. Let's support.
So that's him talking about Wiki and his people. I just got an info. I was going to tell you before now, a few things I wanted to use to compare the Thiefnubu and his hypocrisy, and then the tomfoolery of those who possibly believe in this renewed shege. They do not, they have money for people to go to 90 billion, 420 billion in all, for people to go to Hajj, to go and pray for Nigeria and themselves, I think, and worship Allah. Here, I just heard that the same Thiefnubu has already approved 12.5 billion naira for the, what would you call them? For the judiciary. Not just that, so another, hang on, where did I even see that? Why did I actually let that fly off? I didn't leave it on. Sorry, give me 1 sec. Actually thought, okay, I found it now. Sorry about that. 37.2 billion for Court of Appeal building, to build Court of Appeal building. 37.2 billion. 12.5 billion to buy 200 SUVs for customs. Now, the same Thiefnubu has also directed that all the federal airports in Nigeria, they should reinstate all the toll gates now. So if you pass through the airport now, you will pay a toll fee. So that's 200. Then I also read somewhere where they said, Thiefnubu said that they would have to start buying electric cars. This was after they already spent over 200 billion on buying themselves cars. Cars for himself, cars for his wife, cars for his vice presidiot, cars for the wife of the vice presidiot, cars for the National Assembly members, and cars for his ministers. They spent 237 billion naira on cars alone last year. Also, the same Thiefnubu that coughed out 90 billion as a federal government money for those who are going to Mecca. It's the same Thiefnubu that coughed out 6 billion naira for yacht. Yeah, he bought himself a yacht. So they said they needed their new houses and offices. So the same Thiefnubu and his gang they spent over 30 billion naira. One of the houses being built in Abuja is for Shitty Man. That alone is costing 15.5 billion naira. That one they are building for Shitty Man in Abuja. Where the Wiki is planning to make sure that it is commissioned when Thiefnubu will do 1 year in office. Listen, now the same guys, the same Thiefnubu gave 160 billion naira to the judiciary. First, he gave them 47 billion. Then again, he gave them another 40 billion. Then another 20 billion. Then another 40 billion. Like I'm talking about nearly 160 billion naira to the judiciary, different arms for cars, for this. Then he promoted them. He gave them 114% salary increase in the last 11 months. Okay. So the same Thiefnubu, it has now come to the full disclosure, have expended over 2 trillion naira trying to make every one of them that helped him to get this illegitimate regime a little bit, kind of on track. 2 trillion naira gone, by the way, gone. Out of this money, I remember one, when they borrowed 1.2 trillion naira, 800 billion, 400 billion, 1.2 trillion naira. They borrowed that to share it to you as your subsidy money. Till now, shishi, get, but it's already rude. That Thiefnubu has shared over 3 trillion naira to poor people in Nigeria in the last 11 months. Do you know that? While you are waiting for them to come and share you 8,000, 12,000, or 25,000, Thiefnubu and his gang, they already put it on record that they've already shared 25,000 naira to you. And they've shared over 3 trillion naira so far, while you are still waiting. Well, these guys who have so much money to spend on cars, houses, are, including those who are going to Hajj or wherever they are going, right? Those who have so much money, they could only give you 5 billion naira for student loan. But student loan. Then people screamed, it's okay, we'll make it 10 billion. At the 10 billion, no. At the student loan, no. At the student, go, everybody, okoko, igbo, okoko war. They remain in the pipe dream. Up till this moment, there is no sign, there is no website that is, you can say, oh, the website for the student loan. There is no recruitment. There is no office. There is no contact number for those who want to ask questions about the student loan. But they keep telling them, Thiefnubu has announced student loan. Thiefnubu has announced that they should give money to this. Thiefnubu has announced a minimum wage increase, cash transfer, consumer credit, minimum wage, and all of these things. And I just announcement when they hear. You have no idea when this is actually going to come to pass, because it will never come to pass. It won't. They have done so much. You have no idea. They believe that they have done so much. When I just be ungrateful people. Do you know how many bags of rice they don't share? Do you know how many bags of grains they have shared? Do you think it's easy? At the time, some of the lawmakers in Nigeria, they were thanking Thiefnubu for giving them trailer of rice to go and share to their people. Oh, thank you so much, Mr. President, for giving me 1,600 bags of rice. Now, the people of Akwa Ibom are very grateful. All of them are so happy that you give us 2 trailer of rice. 1,600 bags, sir. People are so grateful. They have never seen anything like this. They said that their hope is renewed now because it's a renewed hope agenda. People had all those, they had all those rice and now they're hungry. Yes, they are. To them, they have done so well. Do you know how much it costs to give you rice? So if anybody says that Thiefnubu is not trying, it's because they hate him or it's because they didn't collect part of the rice. That is your reality. And that's why these men are saying Fubara should obey Wike. Because as it be, anybody will want chop. You have to be ready to lead the ass of the criminals in your government, or else it's your fault. And I think that's what Thiefnubu also represents. Come and shop and keep your mouth shut, or else you are enemy of Nigeria for refusing to come and shop. Come in. Right. Grown up men. And as you're watching this, though, a lot of them, of Wike loyalists, they were already leaving Fubara's government in droves. They are resigning. And I think that's honorable, right? Instead of staying back and, sleep and let's see how that plays out. So, Fubara said he has already sent Otapiapia to kill the Gari-eating rats, the giant Gari-eating rats. Rats. That's with the wiki. So today is done. Tomorrow is another day, and it's gonna come. Okay, and then we are all gonna be here. So I've shared what I have with you. So what I have for you with you tonight, and I am going to see you tomorrow. Okay. So normally we would take calls, okay, but let's kind of make it a break tonight. All right. A few things popped up that I could use an hour to save something. But we'll see you tomorrow. So I want to say thank you to every one of you again. For tonight, I will see you some other time. But until then, right? Just don't stop watching Mayegu. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Good night.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari láyé bí nàmbà wá. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari láyé bí nàmbà wá. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú. Mayegun dayari láyé bí nàmbà wá. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Mayegun dayari láyé bí nàmbà wá. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun dayari láyé bí nàmbà wá. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun dayari láyé bí nàmbà wá. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun dayari láyé bí nàmbà wá. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun dayari láyé bí nàmbà wá. Mayegun dayari politico. Mayegun dayari láyé bí nàmbà wá. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun dayari láyé bí nàmbà wá. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Mayegun dayari láyé bí nàmbà wá. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari láyé bí nàmbà wá. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Mayegun máa wí. ẹ̀sùnra kì ijó ìgbádìyẹ àní ẹ̀sùnra kì bí presidiot bá rúfin o àní ẹ̀sùnra kì gómìnà kówó jẹ àní ẹ̀sùnra kì ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá àní ẹ̀sùnra kì aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o àní ẹ̀sùnra kì òkúra olóṣèlú àní ẹ̀sùnra kì ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì àní ẹ̀sùnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀ oníkanṣá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o àyè.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní má ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Ha! Kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹ̀rùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. èèpo ọ̀bọ̀lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti dọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ fòyà àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o àkàmù. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì o ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.